Good afternoon. My name is Ms. Schwartz. I'm one of the counselors at Issaquah High School, and I hope to go over some of the basics of the 10th grade high school and beyond plan requirements. And then for anyone who's already finished those, I also have included some information on how to use some career exploration tools, probably about 2/3 of the way in through this video. Okay. So first of all, what we're looking at on my screen are instructions for 10th grade. And I pulled these up on our College and Career Center website, and they have a separate tab for the high school and beyond plan. So you can take a look at that. This is basically what it looks like. It takes you through every requirement, and it also has some screenshots of important information for you. So you can do it step by step. They separate each assignment out so it's clear to follow, and they'll tell you how many things you need to do. So for example, in assignment 3, they're having you save 2 of every option that you have. And then they tell you when they have a section that is optional rather than required as well. Okay, so that is a really helpful resource, and I'll walk you through the website. So once you log in, and there were instructions on how to access your account on that page that I just showed you, you will have a dashboard, and it will show you options up at the top in this blue bar, or you can use this little down arrow to select the different options you want as well. It'll also tell you how far you are in completing your year's requirements. So for example, this student still has a little bit to do. And what's cool is you can use the down arrow for what's complete and then what's incomplete, and just access the ones that you need to complete once you've reviewed everything else. So we're going to start by reviewing matchmaker results, because that was the first thing on the instructions. And here we have just an overview of what the questions are like. So if you've never taken this before, if you've transferred into our district, I just want to make sure everyone had this. So every question you get, they'll ask you if you dislike it very much, up to if you like it very much. You get your best results if you're doing more greens for at least some things, and the occasional red. If you select doesn't matter each time, it'll have a hard time giving you a good list. Okay, so right here, what I have is a list I compiled after filling out the survey today, and it gives me some different options for careers based on what I liked. So I can click on one of those. Maybe I'll choose concrete mason, and it will tell me my responses and why it thought that that was suitable for me. If I'm really interested in this, I can click this blue button up at the top to save it to my plan. I can also go back to the list and try and find some more if I want. Another thing that's really cool is, so based on my responses, a lot of these are options that could be fulfilled with an apprenticeship or technical training. But let's say I wanted to see how it changed if I just did four-year college. I can select that level of education in my box, and I can update my results, and it changed quite a bit. So this will change my results based on what level of education I wanted to do. Okay. Moving on, they'll have a second assessment for you that you need to review, which is my skills. And you can either retake it again, or you can just use it with your previous matchmaker results after you review them. Once you do that, it will give you a list of what you've chosen, and then also a my skills score on the left, or excuse me, on the right. So you can tell that web developer did not fit very well with my skills, but several other of my options really did. Okay, and then just so you know, this is like a guideline, the starting tool. So don't be discouraged if the computer didn't give you what you were interested in, or said that maybe there wasn't a match where you expected one. And you can always take additional questions as well. So back when we were looking at assessments, we got results and I only did 39 questions, but I can do more questions. So I can continue to do more, right where it says here, improve my results. I can answer more questions all the way up to 116, and that will drastically improve my results if I wasn't happy with my original list. Okay, so we have gone over Matchmaker, my skills, and then the last assessment is learning styles inventory. If you feel like this has changed, you can retake it. Otherwise, you can view your scores. Usually people will find a combination between the two, or between the three, but there's always something that's stronger than the rest. So for right here, it's telling me that my tactile learning, which is like my hands-on learning, is my strongest attribute for the best way I learn. Okay. One thing I forgot to mention is that you will want to select a minimum of 3 careers and save them to your plan. And then you can also take a look at additional details for each of those 3 careers. So the job description, how much you might earn, what's a possible path that you might follow throughout your career. So do 3 of those. Then moving on to my goals and plans, that's the next section of what we're doing. For 10th grade, you will do something new. You will do career and life goals, and you'll make 1 short-term goal and 1 long-term. So you can enter your short-term goal here, and short-term might be something you'll do in the next few years or maybe the next few months. That could be something as simple as I will research 3 different careers and continue to think about how those match with the classes that I want to take next year at IHS. A long-term goal might be more like I want to finish a degree in, whatever topic is, and then I have a goal of moving beyond that and then doing this with my career. Okay, so that's that portion. And then lastly, we will move to building the resume. So I will go to that on the menu here, and then there are 3 different things we want you to fill out this time: the extracurricular activities, the hobbies and interests, and the skills and abilities. So for those, you will want to do at least 2 of each. You can review what you already did. So for example, here I had said I'm good at analyzing things and I'm creating, or good at being creative. So I added that before, and you can adjust them. You could add more if you want. And you can also, this is optional, but you can start to add like things you've done for volunteer experience or any awards and other things like that. Okay, so those are the minimum requirements for the high school and beyond plan this year. If you had already completed those or you were interested in doing more, I would like to show you some options. So ONET Online is an excellent resource, and it's updated very frequently, so you can get just even more details on certain careers. So let's say in the search bar up at the top, I wanted to learn about being a physical therapist. Okay, type that in. They give me lots of different types of options. So if I wanted to be an aide versus a physical therapist versus an assistant, I can choose all of those things. Then it'll split things up versus what I would be expected to do in that job, what skills I need, what things I might be doing within my job, like making decisions and solving problems for my patients. What I think is really cool is they actually interview people who have these jobs for this data, and then they'll tell you how often they are doing things. So how often are they having face-to-face discussions? Pretty much every day, 80% of them said. And then it'll also tell you what kind of education was required for most of these people. So here you see that some people were able to do this with a bachelor's degree, which is a 4-year college degree, And then other people, most of them ended up getting a doctorate degree, while some just did a master's degree. They also talk about like what types of personality and interests and work styles fit with that career as well. So this is just a lot of detail that I think goes in more depth than the other website, which is pretty cool. They can also tell you, like, based on where you live, how hot that job will be in the next few years as well. So that's ONET Online. Another cool resource is WCAN, and they have kind of a 10th grade timeline of things you can do to prep yourself for career or college. And they give you lots of good websites and just help you think of things that you might not have thought about on your own. So it's a really helpful document, and they have more on their website as well. So it's WCAN. And then lastly, I wanted to show you CareerShip. So this is a website that has some similar features to the Career Cruising, except you can also review careers by cluster. So that's like the interest category groups. You could do that. So here's an example. So these are all the clusters, and maybe I'm really interested in construction and extraction, and I can click on that, and then I can get all the careers that are listed. I can also look at featured careers. I can try additional clusters. I can do something even more specific, like say, okay, what kind of careers are there for me if I choose to start in the military? And then they'll give you those options as well. So I hope this was beneficial in learning what you need to do for your high school and beyond plan, but also having some additional resources to just know what else is out there that you can explore. Thank you so much. Good luck. And if you have any questions, please reach out to your counselor for help.